Hello, welcome back to Farmbiz with Markay. Now, we are in our day 6, early hour of day 6 since we stocked this bears. That is our Cobb 500. That's the breed that we stock. Though it could have been Ross 308, but we decided to go with Cobb 500. Now, the reason, because you might be wondering, is it just because if you've been following my video, most times it's always Cobb 500 that I normally stock most times. Is it that okay, Cobb 500 is best among all the breeds of broilers that we have in the country as of today? Because it's just three breeds, right, to be precise. That is the Ross 308, Cobb 500, and the Arbor Plus. But most times I stock Cobb 500. I either stock Cobb 500 or Ross 308, but most of the time it's Cobb 500 that I normally stock. This is because this breed always give me what I want. That is that day 35 game that I normally play. That is disposing my best by day 35 with that massive weight. So Cobb 500 always give me that. Another thing, Ross 308 also has the capability to give me that massive weight at disposal. But what is making me to always go for Cobb 500? I know one of my followers asked this question some time ago. That when I posted one of my videos, he asked that okay, what is actually making me to always go for Cobb 500? Now, one thing I discovered from my practical experience raising this bears is the uniformity among Cobb 500, because Cobb 500 gives me more uniform weight than that of Ross 308. I am not saying this is general for every situation, because some other farmers might find that uniformity better with that of Ross 308 than that of Cobb 500. So, but for me, Cobb 500 seems to be giving me that uniformity more than that of Ross 308. Now, what is this uniformity we are talking about? Right now, I have about 100 and something bears in this brooder right now. Now, what if at the end, by disposal, I have about that same number of bears of almost equal weight? That's 100% uniformity. Though you cannot have 100% uniformity no matter how you tried as a farmer, take care of your bears and all of that. There is always variation. But if you can get like maybe 60 something, 70, 80%, perfect, of uniformity. That means if you stock 100 bears, for instance, if at the end you have about 75 or 80 of them of that weight within that 2.7 to that 3 kg, that's wow. It's a very good one. So that is what we work towards as a farmer. The very first point you need to consider to achieve that is to look out for the chicks that you stock, the breeds that you stock. Cobb 500 has been giving me that. That is why I always stick to this Cobb 500, though that doesn't stop me from stocking Ross 308. Now, that is for uniformity. Now, stocking them and then feeding them doesn't really guarantee you that uniformity by disposal. There are some stuff we'll be doing, though I have some video in my channel stating what you must do to achieve that uniformity in terms of weight. But what we will do as time proceeds, I'm going to be showing it to you when we are to sort. Because right now, you'll be surprised as little as these chicks are. Some are bullying some already. So some will definitely prevent some from eating until they are satisfied, their crop fully filled, before giving those other ones chance to eat. But we don't want that. We want a situation, since we provided more than enough feeders, we want a situation whereby all of them can have access to feed at all times. All of them can have access to that the water that we provided for them at all times. So to do that at a time, we may need to sort. We separate those fast growing ones to a different, we partition our pen, separate those ones to one side, and then leave those other, the one I will call the slow growing one, in some other pen, and then feed them well, so that by the end, that uniformity will be maximized. That is the uniformity we are talking about. But the main thing I want to really talk about in this video today is this wood shavings that we put is getting messed up. This is early hour of day 6. This one is getting messed up totally. It's time for me to actually replace it with a fresh one. But another thing I may likely do, because when you look at these ones now, it's a bit messed up, though not totally messed up. So the spot that I feel yeah, it's really getting messed up. I may need to pack that side and then watch out for any other wet floor like this place around this nipple drinkers cup now is wet. You can see as they peck on that pin, you see some water dripping on the floor. So but I don't want to encourage the spread of coccidiosis in this my pen. I will need to replace this bedding materials now and then replace it with sawdust, because at this age I think it's safe for them to actually be on the sawdust now without any issue. But remember, but if I were to be using sawdust from day one, I will have to cover the bedding materials, that is the sawdust, for the first few days before allowing them access to this particular wood sawdust in that case. But that's not the case now. But I need to just clear the whole thing and then ensure that everywhere is okay for them again. We are still providing heat for them, because for the past 24 hours it's been raining, no sun at all. So though we are in the early hour of disease, I still have to give them some heat, though I reduced it a bit so that the temperature, that is the thermometer, can just give me about 32 31 point something degrees centigrade. So that was where I set it to, and they were happy, moving up and down, eating, drinking and all of that. So but now, right now, the sun has come up a bit, so I just turned off the gas brooder because I want to pack out these used litters and then replace it with a fresh one. Now, the very first thing you do in order not to disturb these chicks so much, because most times I always advise, when you want to replace these used bedding materials, you don't need to do it during the hot hour of the day, because it might introduce some level of stress to them. In that case, either you do it not the way I'm not saying this is the right way you must do it. You can do it during the sunny hour, as far as it doesn't introduce stress to your chicks, it's okay. But for me, I prefer to do it during the cool hour of the day. The weather has been so cool, so it's time for me to actually do this now. But to do that, what you do, you must remove all the feeders, and then like these bell drinkers now, I will need to lift it up so that I don't have this used materials. I think this used bedding materials to spraying inside that bed drinker where they drink from. To avoid that, I'll need to use this rope adjuster to lift it off the floor so that I can pack out all this stuff. Now, packing out this stuff, do we need to just go and throw it off and all of that? Well, if you don't have anything to do with it, you can just find a way to throw it off. But for me, just like I showed you some time ago, there's a place I planted some yam. The yam is really doing well, spreading and all of that. I may likely show it to you during the course of raising this bed. So that's where I'm going to transfer this used material, because there's some level of manure in these bedding materials right now, so it will do well to those plants rather than just throwing it off. But in case you don't have a place to keep them and all of that, you know, some farmers, they do come around to buy, though most times like this wood shavings, if I had left it here for some time, it's going to disintegrate into smaller pieces, not this bigger one that you are seeing. Over time it will disintegrate, but we don't have that luxury of time to just leave this one up, or maybe we'll not decide to pack another one on top of this. I don't raise my best that way. Once the thing is getting messed up, I pack out the whole thing and then replace it with a fresh one. That's how I manage my bedding materials. But for some other farmers raising their beds in a deep litter system, they may decide to pack some other bedding materials on top of this, but I don't like that. So I need to clear the whole thing, replace it with a fresh one. When I observe that it's getting messed up, I clear it, replace it with a fresh one. That's what I do. So but this time, what I'm going to do after replace, because I have more of sawdust than the wood shape that I have left. After pouring the sawdust on the floor, I'm still going to spread some level of wood shave on top of the sawdust. In that way, it will prevent them a bit from spraying the sawdust inside the feeder. Because even if they spray it, because of the larger particles of these wood shavings, you can easily use them to remove them from the feeder. So that's the advantage of this wood shaving over sawdust. Now, you might be wondering, is it not time for us to give them more space? You know, I did that, I think by day 3, was it day 3 also? I gave them some level of expansion. I expanded the brooder a bit because I observed that they were growing rapidly. That's how it's supposed to be. But right now, that space is still okay for them. It's still very, very okay, because this is where your physical observation comes in. You don't just have to leave your birds there. Okay, no, just look at them. Are they okay with the space that you gave them? One of the ways you can ensure that they are okay, when they are eating, you can look at them. Are they jam packed and all of that? Or when you come into this brooder, are you perceiving ammonia? Maybe you just drop the replace the bedding materials. Not up to 2 days, you are perceiving that ammonia level already. That means the space you actually gave them is too small. You may need to expand it a bit. You may need to give them more space a bit. That space is too small for you to have placed your bedding materials in about 2 or 3 days. You are already perceiving that high ammonia level. It won't be good for your chicks. So the best thing to do is to give them more space. That is one of the ways that we use to know, okay, the space is actually okay for them. As they grow, we'll keep expanding this brooder until they are free to now roam around the whole pen. What is this brooding that we are talking about? I know that word might not be strange to you. Made mention of brooder severally in this batch of birds that we've been raising. Brooding is actually the care that we give to these chicks. It's not just the heat that we provided for the chicks so that they are okay and all of that. No, it's more than that. The care that we give to them, looking at them, okay, giving them feed as at when due, giving them water, medication and all of that. That's what the brooding is all about. And normally for broilers, it lasts for about 2 weeks. It lasts for about those 2 weeks. That is the provision of it and those care. In that, after that, they can easily take care of themselves. All you need to be doing by then is just to give them feed and then give them the necessary vaccine and medication. But as they are now, this disease in about some hours from now, they'll be exactly 1 week. So we don't just have to leave them. We still need to give them some level of heat because of the weather. We still need to give them some level of heat so that by the 8th, the 9th months, we should be able to say, okay, they have grown to the level that we'll have to remove heat from them. That is it. But broiler doesn't like heat in any form. That is one thing you need to understand. They don't like heat. As they grow, they don't need the heat. As they grow, they don't need the heat. So this is one of the things you need to understand about raising broilers. But if you plan for broilers to provide heat for them for that 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't think you're actually planning for broilers. Maybe you are planning for layers. So this is all I have for you today. Thank you so very much for following up my video up to this moment. And if you find this video helpful, in a way to say thank you, kindly do well to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification icon, like, comment and share, as this will help us to grow our channel and reach a larger audience. Thank you so very much.